great. Beautiful. So, with that being said, peace. My name is Mike Cole. Welcome to Mike Cole Academy, where we master our code on life together, finding our way through this thing called life. I am live on YouTube and I am live on Instagram, specifically in the Mike Cole Academy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This segment is what I call a study hall, where in some spaces we might be out in nature, some spaces we might be in the office, and some spaces, we'll be working, workshopping. I might bring guests on. It might be, sip and talk. I got some tea. Shout out to, you know who it is, Fish for Tea Times. Yes, yes. So today I wanted to talk about a few things though. I wanted to talk about some things we discussed last time. So on my very first time going live, let me actually send this out just in case she wants to see it on there. One second, child. Yep, there we go. Wow. Wow. Yes, yes. So I wanted to speak on some of the things that we already spoke on last live. And that specifically was the very first live. I talked about how we got to where I am now with my Cole Academy. And that was me journeying through music, me journeying through music, modeling, movies, and media, which is in the space I'm most recently in. And it was just a general get to know me. And then the second live, we talked about the secret feed to public speaking, that fear, education, and experience. So my intention for these study halls is to recap the classes and the lectures to be able to have more interactive, with the scholars, the students, as well as with you all. I want to be able to make it more of a dialogue, make it more of a conversation. Yet, since this is the beginning, and like most beginnings, it usually is just you, which is completely fine. I want to speak about a little bit more in depth on my experience and why I wanted to go into, why I started with both of those lives. So I got three questions. I'm going to answer those three questions, then I'm going to leave you all with the question. And that's how the whole flow of this is going to go. Cool? Cool. Question number one. Why? Why music? Why modeling? Why movies? Why media? Why was I afraid to leave? And why was I afraid to stay? So boom. Why music? Why music? Because I love music, man. Music is it's become an extension of me, and not in the traditional way of me needing to make music. I am music. I am rhythm. I am sound. I am breath. I am harmony. And I am the chaos that embodies all of that, that also brings it together in a syncopated space that allows us to move and groove with the beat. And was there before I ever music was there before I ever before I even knew myself. I'd be riding around listening to songs, listening to beats, and it just resonated with me in a way that just felt so true. And it brought me joy even in the silence. So yeah, music is very special to me, and I've had a very tumultuous relationship with it within these past few years. Yet I'm learning to love it again with new avenues. So I'm thankful for that. Why modeling? Modeling was an entry point for me. I wasn't always in love with this. I'll be completely honest with you. I mean, from going through the awkward stage of acne and going through the awkward stage of a voice changing, a face changing, facial hair starting to come in, having a low cut, like you feel like the ugly duckling when you're going through the process. And when I was in that process, I didn't quite know how to process that process. So I shunned away from it. I wouldn't look in the mirror, or I felt so. I felt so out of body with myself to where I didn't quite know how to fit in my own skin, if that makes sense. And it put me in a space of like not accepting myself. And music was where I started after high school when I wanted to get in the community. Yet the best way at the time that I knew how to really give myself a chance was to model. I was like, I'm gonna do the thing I'm most afraid of, and that's be in front of the camera with just this. And the funny part was, I still went with a mask. I still went with a mask. I still would there was like this, I might pull up some pictures, just for reference later on. But essentially, I went and I was okay with this, but then I still wasn't okay with this. So it was like this dichotomy of I'm pushing myself to the edge of fear, but at the same time, not fully revealing that I'm afraid of that field. So modeling was a way for me to branch out and put myself in an uncomfortable situation by my choice. So therefore, when I got on stage, I had already had some experience of the eyes being on just me. And I wanted to build some practice in that space. And it was great way to meet people as well. Why movies? Movies, I fell in love with movies before I fell in love with music. Movies were my first friend where it was a relationship that I built on my own. I'd watch movies over and over again, analyzing it, listening to the music, seeing the highs, seeing the peaks, seeing the lows, crying through those lows sometimes, contemplating on why this character did that and saying no, wanting this story to change. But then eventually I started to play around with what if the story was different, if that character made certain decisions, and I started to make movies with my own imagination. So it just allowed me to dive into a world that I didn't quite know existed. I didn't know it existed until I lived in it. I allowed myself to be in a space of, wow, if I could see all this in my head, then what could I do in my reality? And it just shifted my perspective. So movies have a special place in my heart because not only do they include music, not only do they include modeling, they really bring every aspect that I've been practicing up to this point together in a very harmonious way when done right. And it takes collaboration. And I love some good teamwork, man. I love when a team can come together and create a vision that's bigger than themselves. That's magical to me. So yeah, that's why I got into acting, because I always knew that I had the emotional capacity to embody any character. And I wanted to portray that on screen. I wanted to practice with that and see what would it be like for me to get uncomfortable, getting comfortable in that space again, where it's not necessarily me on the screen playing it. I'm embodying yet it's all my features. It's my voice. It's my hair. It's my face. It's my body. It's everything that makes me me. I'm just putting on a different type of mask. And then next is media. Why media? Media because I knew where the world was going. I know that one of the biggest and the lowest barriers to entry is media. Anybody can buy a camera, anybody can pick it up, and you put enough hours in, you learn enough about it, you figure out how to tell stories with scripts and words and editing and shooting and lighting and sound. You could be a content creator, you could be a movie maker, you could be an actor, you could be anything you want to be. You can even do that for other people. And originally I knew that from modeling to music and a little bit of movie, I hadn't gotten fully into movies yet on the journey. I knew that as long as I could figure out how to work the camera, then I'd always have a job. I'd always have something that I can feed myself, feed my family, and I'd have a way to put out the message that I wanted to put out from music. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and check the first live on YouTube. It's called Progress Report. And what's the name of that mug? Real quick, let me see if I can find it. I know I'm on a roll right now and I'm derailing it by going to find this thing, but it's important to me that I say the right name. Your videos. It's called A Creative's Journey to Self Mastery Progress Report on the Metamind Code channel. So if you want to learn more about the message I wanted to input with my music, go check that out. So why was I afraid to leave all of these spaces? Man, why was I afraid to leave? I was afraid to leave those spaces because I didn't quite know if I could do it on my own. Which sounds crazy, in real life, but also retrospect, because it's like, of course I could, of course I did, but I never really knew if it was just me or if it was me collaborating with the people that I was around. And for me, the answer now is like yes, and I could never do anything in life by just myself. Like I have so many blessings in my life, so many people in my life that support me, that love me, that guide me. I'm thankful for it. Yet a part of me got in those spaces and I loved it. But at the same time, I felt like I was trapped, you know? I felt like in the music space, I had expanded. I had people, I'd walk in the room, people know my name now. When at first I was just another Joe Blow. I got on stage and eventually people were able to know my lyrics, sing my lyrics, and that was crazy to me. I got people to interact and whatnot. Yeah, at the same time, it got to a certain stage where I just felt like the only way to move up was to continue to repeat it and like get bigger every year. And I just felt like I didn't love the process of that anymore. You know, I didn't love the process of wanting to make it in music because I was like, this ain't what I started on. What I really wanted to do was speak a message that was true to me. And although my music has always been true to me, I felt like I was performing and I was seeking validation because I wanted people to like me through my music. And it just wasn't fun anymore. Thank you for chiming in. Keep it simple, T. It wasn't fun anymore, Like it got to the point to where I had to tell myself, finish this project versus just wanting to finish the project. And when it got to that point, I didn't want to force myself to do something I claim to love. And I'd rather take a step back from it than continue to put force onto it because that can have other repercussions. And I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it, but also like there was unhealthy habits that came with it. Like I started to consume more substances, thinking that that was going to make me better, even though I knew my powers were great. I thought that by using certain substances, they would enhance those powers when they really dulled it, you know? So it was just a lot of it's like I found myself through music, then I lost myself through music, searching for self identity all at the same time. And it became a wicked journey. And then why was I afraid to leave modeling? Uh, I didn't love it. That wasn't something that was a passion of mine to model, even though I've been told I have the face for it, I have the teeth for it, I have the smile for it, I have the persona and the charisma for it. And I know that. And I'm learning to be more confident in it. Yet that craft I didn't love. So I felt like if I'm not going to respect this craft, then let me put this down the side and allow people who do love it to do it. But at the same time, I know that's a space for me. I'll still end up occupying that space more. It's just going to be in a more harmonious way that's true to me. I'm not big on wearing the latest and greatest clothes and things of that nature. I got to a certain point in life to where I wanted to shift my focus to things that were more internally valuable. And to me, a lot of times modeling can be seen as externally valuable, even though it stems from the inside first. Keep It Simple T said it became superficial because people kept seeing you how they wanted to see you. Yes. Yes. And that goes straight into the movies. I kept getting opportunities that they were beautiful for me to test my skills and my range and get more colors on the palette, but it wasn't the characters I wanted to portray. It was characters that other people wanted to see me in the position of, and it just didn't resonate. It didn't resonate. And in the very last role that I was asked to play, I went through with it, even though, people who dearly loved me didn't agree with the choice, I felt like, no, I gotta do it. This is for me. Like, once I get through this, I know I'm gonna blow up. And it's like, for what though? Blow up how? You know? And I just had this very skewed perception on the reality of the situation. And it wasn't the best portrayal of who I am, you know? And I felt like had I gone through with that journey, it would have led me down a path, excuse me, it would have led me down a path where people would have only wanted to see me in a specific light. Because there's this weird thing with movies and acting to when people see you in a certain character and they love you, well, excuse me, they love that character, they have a difficulty separating you from the character. And that's like, it's a compliment, but also a diss, because it's like you're acting, but at the same time, you're acting. You know, you're acting and you're performing and you're doing a great job at your craft, but at the same time, you're still a human being. You're still a human being. At the end of the day, you are not that person on the screen. Who you are every day is not who they see you as on that screen. So it was just crazy. And T said it. Most villain characters as well. A lot of people wanted to see me play the bad guy because in real life, they saw the joyous me. They saw the me that was praising positivity and uplifting with love and light and everything. And it just, I guess people wanted to see the contrast in me, which I get, which I see. And if you look at it, you can go see I can play that character very well, yet it has side effects that a lot of people weren't there for. And those side effects I had to deal with, and the people close to me had to deal with. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't light. It wasn't fun. And it was necessary. There's a lot of growth that happened in that space, but it cost. You know, it costs time, it costs space, it costs energy. It costs a lot. It costs pieces of myself. It's like every character I played, it's like I gained more experience of the world, but it felt like I lost certain experiences of myself because I had to let go of certain pieces and spaces of me in order to allow the space of this character to fill up so I could truly play it. And not all actors go that route, but that's the way that I chose based on what came most natural to me. And I feel like I excelled at it. Yet now I want to be more responsible with these crafts because I know they're spiritual. You know, there's much more energy that goes into it rather than just reading the words and then performing those words through reciting it. For me, it's a very holistic, energetic experience, and I need to be careful with that. I need to be wise with that and play certain roles with discernment. So, why media? I feel like I kind of explained why media, yet it was a way for me to pull all those together. My love for music, love for modeling, and love for movies, and be able to tell stories of others. And eventually, what we're doing now, stories of myself, yet it allowed me to practice, getting paid to practice, and also uplifting and giving opportunities to my community that I felt like they wouldn't receive because a lot of media stuff is expensive, which I get, from the equipment, from the time, from the expertise, to getting the right team members, to the editing aspect of it, and then how to roll it out in a way that tells a full-on story. It's a lot that goes into media that I didn't know before I got into it. I don't regret the journey, but I also, like, I don't want to take it lightly anymore. And I love my community and I want to be able to help tell the stories, but at the same time, what I put my time into is of value to me. And as I build this skill, I don't want it to be just another stone people can throw because they're unable to afford other people. And I don't mean that in any type of disrespect. I mean it with the utmost respect, yet also respecting myself, my team, my craft, these skills, these tools. We poured a lot into it. We pour a lot into what we do. And the beautiful thing about what we do at D Links, our media company, is that you're not just getting a media team. You're getting a team with the media equipment, media experience, time in media, yet you also getting human beings that love themselves and love what they do and love their people. And that flows through every single project we do. So it's not just we're just trying to get to the bag with certain projects. We are doing our best to tell the most authentic, the most true, and honorable story possible. And you're just not going to get that everywhere. And we've been devaluing ourselves by accepting projects left and right that just don't resonate at times. And you know what? It's okay. It's a learning journey. And for everyone that's taking a chance on us, we appreciate you. You've allowed us to learn. You've allowed us to grow. You allowed us to gain even more experience. And we wouldn't be where we are without you. So we're super, super grateful for everyone that's chosen to invest in us as a team, as a media company. Yet at this moment in time, we're just being a little bit more selective with what we say yes and no to respect ourselves and also respect our clients, because everybody that we serve is important and we believe that. So, yeah. Now, why was I afraid to leave the space of I spoke on music, I spoke on modeling, I didn't speak on movies. Why was I afraid to leave the space of movies? Because I was gaining traction. People were starting to notice me and call me, hey, character, hey, I remember seeing you with, hey, dope. And it was external validation. I'll be honest with you. It felt good. It felt good to do something and get praise for it in its simplest form. It felt good to do something and get praised for it. Yet I started to question where the praise was coming from. Were you praising me? Were you praising the character? Were you praising the team? Were you praising the person that came up with the story? What exactly were you praising? No diss. I still appreciate the love, yet is it love? You know? And what type of love is it? Because there's many types of love out there. And again, I mean, in really all the spaces I said it, I was afraid to leave because I was like, can I do it on my own? Can I do it with my team? Can I do it with my story? Can I do it with my character? Can I do it with my media equipment? Can I do it with my crew? Can I do it with my purpose? Not settling. Can I do it in a way that is true to me through and through, from the beginning to the end and every piece in the middle? And that's where we at now. Why media? Why am I afraid to leave media? I'm not leaving media. Yet the pieces of me that have been afraid to leave it because it's been a way that I've been able to fuel this space and time to take a step away from each of those industries. And I feel like leaving that, I'm starting at ground zero again. And it's a scary place to start, but it's necessary. And honestly, I have to remember that by starting, Keep It Simple T came across a quote by Malik, I believe her name is, where it said, just because you're a beginner doesn't mean you lack experience. Just because you're a beginner doesn't mean you lack experience. So even though I'm starting again from a base foundational level in a certain aspect of myself, it doesn't mean that all this experience goes to waste. I've built mountaintops, I've gone through valleys, and I've allowed myself this range, this myriad of experiences that are fluctuating in so many different mediums that all blend together harmoniously. And it allows me the space to be able to say, I've been living. There was a point in time in my life where I wasn't. And now I can say, like, by the grace of my coach, I've been living. And it's a beautiful thing to say that I can say that I did this, I did that, I put my mind out to do something and did it. Now, if I saw it all the way through, that's a whole different story. Yet I did it. And that's an accomplishment in itself, because a lot of people, they have these hopes and aspirations, but they don't ever go for it. T said allows you to be on a fly on the wall where you have options and see what you like to choose. Absolutely. It allowed me the space to explore and experiment, to gain new experiences. So the next part of that question was, why was I afraid to stay? I feel like the answer is pretty similar for that. You know, why was I afraid to leave is very similar to the why I was afraid to stay. Because the simple answer is I was afraid to stay in all those spaces because I felt like if I stayed there, I'd still be there, which isn't a problem in a different reality. Yet in this reality, I wanted more for myself. And the more didn't mean more. The more was more. I wanted more from the inside out. And that meant I need to take a step back to take a step in. And I'm still doing that. I'm still on the journey of that. Yet the beautiful piece is that all of this brought me here to My Cole Academy. This is what I've been attempting to build in all those different iterations. I just didn't always have the knowledge, the experience, or the courage to do so. And coach is like, it's time. You've been building your experiences, going through these different training camps, been in and out of game situations. Now it's time to put all of those together and start playing a specific game by this rule, by this playbook. You ready? Well, let's go. Let's go. So, next question. What was my first experience of the fee of public speaking? Now, just to recap real quick, if you haven't seen it, I recommend that you go and watch on my YouTube channel. Go and watch How to Overcome the Fear of Public Speaking Part 1. How to Overcome the Fear of Public Speaking Part 1. The reason I say go watch this, one, it's my second time ever going live on YouTube in this way with this format in this space. Two, it breaks down very essential parts of that over 41% of the population is more afraid of public speaking than they are of death. And we talk a little bit about why that is. Yet three, it's me being in the other percentile. I didn't allow myself, even though I had a bunch of stuff going on, I had to make a run right after the live. I felt like I was rushing it. I tore myself apart low-key after doing it. But when I actually went back and watched it, I said, I didn't do that bad. I actually did pretty cool, you know? So I recommend go back and watch How to Overcome the Fear of Public Speaking Part 1 on my YouTube channel. It also breaks down the fee of public speaking. And I was having a conversation with Mama D, and she was telling me about some people that might be interested in the academy and, you know, me getting it together. And I got excited. I got energized. Like, you know what? I appreciate it. You know, I've been asking for this and you're allowing me the space to bring it into fruition. So it made me expand my perspective on it, that even though I'm going through the public speaking piece of it, this is the industry I'm in right now. This really applies to life itself. There's a fee of life, and that's that fear, education, and experience. And my first experience of that in the public speaking way, but also going back to the different crafts and industries I was in music. And there was an experience where one of my old homies I used to go to school with, he decided to throw a show. And he asked me to perform and be essentially one of the headliners for that show. And I was like, that's dope. I ain't never done that before, but let's do it. So he gave us some tickets. You know, I ended up selling the tickets to all my homies at the time. I'm super excited. I'm telling people it's gonna be lit. We're gonna throw down. XYZ is in the wintertime, so I know mugs wanna come turn up. And man, the room was packed. It it felt like so much energy in the room. And I was like, okay, this is one of those times, okay? And in the beginning of the night, they were like DJs playing their sets and whatnot. And the room was so separated. It was like people over here, people over there. Everybody was on the perimeter. And I was like, what are we doing here? I'm not performing my first night in mugs all separated. So what I do, I went and hollered at the DJ. I went straight in the middle of the room and was just, showing him some love, or her. I don't quite remember who it was at the time. And then I got in the middle of the dance floor and just started dancing, started enjoying myself to energetically invite others to do the same thing. That was the first piece of the fee, my first experience with the fee of public speaking. The next part came when other people started joining in, building, and it's just like that energy starts getting contagious. Like, oh, he enjoying himself? I'm gonna start dancing too. Oh, damn, they smiling over there. Let me go see what's up. Oh, snap, he hit that one. Let me go see what's up. It just is the ripple effect of people just came through, and it was dope. It was real dope. And then it came down to my performance, boy. And right before the performance, boy, I ducked out of there. I ducked out and had a moment to myself and was just like, God, it's the moment. You've been preparing for this. The nerves was there, everything. And I just had this pep talk with myself, basically went into prayer and meditation. And it was time for me to get on stage. Went into it, addressed the crowd. Hey, what's up? Da 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 da. Yeah, make some noise. Appreciate da 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 for having the show. And then went into the songs. And man, it was a time, bro. Like, people were present, people were engaged, and it was just a beautiful moment that, like, a lot of those nerves, they were there, but then once I got on stage, they kind of rushed away. What happened was there was a moment of pause where it was like a transition between songs, and I didn't prepare what to say in between songs. I was just so excited now. I was so focused on promoting the show. I didn't prepare for the show with what I was going to say during the show. The song came on called Too Lit. And man, after the chorus, I had my was bumping, going up and down, and it was time for the verse. And I forgot my words. I forgot the lyrics to my song. And I'm on stage, the crowd is fully engaged and just staring at me like, this supposed to be happening? And what did I do? I asked the DJ to start it over. I said, hold on, man. Run that back. And I tried to play it off. I said, run that back. I don't know if y'all fully listening. It's too late. Trying to play it off like it's not that deep, bro. Ran it back, forgot my lyrics again. And then that's when somebody in the crowd was like, choke, 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 get him off the stage, choke. And keep in mind, I did a lot of preparation for this show. I mean, a lot of promotion for this show. So there was at least 10 to 15 people that were in the crowd just for me. And it's a room of like 75 people. I say it's packed, but packed in that perspective. And the space was decent. 10 to 15 people turned to the person. And they literally, I just saw like, it was like a moment in SpongeBob when you see all them sardines get off their bus rushing into the Krusty Krab. No diss to everybody that was in the crowd, but you just saw this sea just move towards that individual. And then that's when it kicked in. Literally, something inside of me was like, I gotta say something. Because if I don't, it's about to be a problem for that brother. So even though they was like, choke, choke, get him off the stage, get him out of here, choke, choke. And I'm on stage like, damn, feeling embarrassed, feeling all of that. I felt more bad for him and what was about to happen to him. So I said, hey, chill out, chill out, chill out, chill out. We ain't know that type of time, man. We came here for peace. We came here for love. We came here to have a good time. And even though I'm on stage, I'm nervous, you know what I'm saying? This is my first time doing this. I'm still up on this stage to have a good time and put on a show for all of you, you know? So I appreciate everybody that came out. We're going to get back to the festivities. We're going to get back to the show. We're going to start this track again. I don't care if I mess up, but we're not going to have no fight. We're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Not tonight. We're not doing that tonight. That ain't going on. And then it completely redirected the energy. I didn't know I had that power because I could have been like, get it, you know, it could have been a whole different type of energy. But I even regardless of him trying to make fun of me, I didn't want to see what was going to happen to him because the people that ride for me ride strong, ride deep. And he didn't want them problems. He didn't want them problems, and I didn't either. I didn't want that karma. So that was my first experience of the fear of public speaking. I literally went through the fear, I went through some education, and I got a hands-on experience all in one, my first time stepping on the stage in the biggest crowd I had up until that point. And I thank the coach for giving me the strength to carry through, honestly. So, yeah, moving right along. And real quick, if you have any questions, resonations, if you anything is clicking for you right now, feel free to drop comments. I love to read them. I love to learn about your first experience of overcoming or just experiencing that fear, education, and experience. Which is really the next question. Recall an experience where you had an opportunity to public speak, perform, or practice your craft. So real quick, recall an experience where you had an opportunity to public speak, perform, or practice your craft. And number one, you were afraid and backed out. So you got an opportunity to do whatever it is you do, but you were so afraid, anxious, nervous, you was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Drop it down in the comments. I want to learn about it so we can talk more about it and we can build ways of how to overcome things like that or how to just be still in the moment and look at it from a new perspective to where you're no longer shaming yourself for it or you're no longer feeling guilty or regretful about it. You know, how we can harmonize and transmute that energy. So give me your experiences so therefore we can dive deep and I can do some research, pull on my experiences and put together a lesson in class for us so we can walk through it practically step by step, how to reorient that energy. And then number two, name an experience where you were nervous, afraid, anxious, and you moved forward. So you were in the space of, oh, this has happened. I got an opportunity, super big, but I don't know if I'm ready for it. I'm gonna do it anyway. I want to learn about your experience too, because that's key. I want us to break down, why. Why did you decide to walk away or why did you decide to walk forward? These decisions are key for life. And I want to break down for all of us to have a chance to understand, how to do this in areas where we feel like a beginner, you know, yet we still have experiences and we can pull on those experiences, if not from ourselves, then from others to be able to overcome. And then, yeah, so I mean, that's all the questions that I had. I appreciate you all spending some space and time with me. I'm really looking forward to reading your responses. You can drop them down in the comments below, or you can email me at mycol academy, mycol academy at gmail.com. I'll read through your responses and soon we'll have a newsletter set up as well. So you'll be able to, stay tapped in with us on everything going on. But I love to read your responses and then we can dive into it and potentially even pull you on, invite you on where we can talk about it and dive deep into your thought process of how this came to be. That's all I really had to talk about on the study hall. This study hall kind of felt a little bit more like a lecture, but I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it's going to be a myriad of different experiences. Yet these first few lives, I want to give a establishing point of who I am, what this academy curriculum is, and why. Why does it matter to me? Where did I come from before, and how can it help you? Because we about to get into the deep neck of the woods real soon. And I just want to make sure you all are ready. And I'm doing my best to have videos that lead up to this point. So when we in it and we move forward from there, anybody that joins on the journey afterwards, after the early adopters, after the early investors like yourself, they'll have a chance to go back and watch it from the beginning and see how we got to that place that we are. So I thank you all. Next time we're going to be talking about how to go from fearless to fearful, excuse me. Next time we'll be talking about how to go from fearful to fearless. Yes, fearful to fearless. It's when I decided I wanted to go into public speaking, it was the first presentation I wrote. It came to me like music did, and I just was writing it out, got a whole chart together. It's super dope. I'm actually very proud of it. So yeah, I'm really thankful for you all spending some time with me. I look forward to seeing you all in the next class, the next study hall. And yeah, man, I pray that you all, wherever you are in your life, you're allowing yourself to be nurtured by your experiences. You're allowing yourself to be loved and pacing your process. You're allowing yourself to be new. It's okay to grow and be new again. You don't always have to be the best in the room. Eventually that gets old. It's honestly fun to be learning something new because in that experience of not knowing, you grow. And when you grow, you gain. And when you gain, you got something to share. And then people are willing to listen, willing to receive, willing to watch because you've gone through something that maybe they haven't. Or maybe they have, but they didn't take your path because your path is unique to you. Remember that. My name is Michael, Mycol. I am your guide here at Michael Academy. We master our code on life together. Peace. See y'all next time, man. Let's go. Come on.